Fusion, Noord, North Holland, and Zuid, South Holland. These provinces make calling the Netherlands Holland like calling the United States Dakota. Though unlike the Dakotas, which are mostly empty, save for the occasional jackalope, the two Hollands are the most populated provinces and have some of the biggest attractions like Amsterdam and Kokenhof. Chances are, if it's Dutch and you've heard of it, it's in one of the Hollands. Even the government's travel website for the country is holland.com, officially because it sounds friendlier, but unofficially it's probably what people are actually searching for. Confusion continues because people who live in the Hollands are called Hollanders, but all citizens of the Netherlands are called Dutch as...
So, it will continue for another couple minutes, so if you want to watch it, search for the difference between the Netherlands, Holland, Dutch, and you will find that video on YouTube. So now that's a kind of clear. Oh. I want to go to Amsterdam. Who have ever been in Amsterdam before? That's actually quite a lot. You've been to the museums? Yeah, right. So actually my town, oh, it's moving around. It's not at Hoofddorp, it's actually Weesp. Not sure why it moved to the wrong location. But Weesp is actually a city founded back in 1125. So that's already a long time ago. It's nice, we have some water around. And about 18,000 people live in my city, Weesp. So enough city marketing. Thank you, Mayor, for your support. So that's Weesp. But actually, I want to bring you back to a bit north. And that's called a small little island on top there. That's called Pampas. And Pampas is a very old island over there. You can see it from the air. You can visit nowadays as well. From the water. But it's already pretty old, as it's been used back in the early days where the Dutch people were sailing all around the world for trading and stuff like that. At that time, there was a kind of issue. And they were sailing in these kind of boats. But they had to find people to get on the boats to sail all around the world. But when they get back home, they entered Amsterdam with some money they earned during their travel, but directly they spent it, like getting drunk on women, on other parties. So it was more and more hard to get people for those boats, as the families didn't want their men to go on the trips. So they thought, how are we going to solve it? So they decided that all boats had to wait at Pampas. That's a little small island. And they brought first a lot of beers, some women, and after that a lot of soap and water to wash it. So after that they could further continue to Amsterdam, and at the time they get in Amsterdam they were so exhausted that they go straight home back to their families with the money they earned on their travel. So that was solving the issue at the time. But Pampas is also an expression in the Netherlands. It's actually called voor Pampas. That means, like some are not here, probably like this, totally wasted, totally drunk, voor Pampas. Voor Pampas is also the name of my rowing team. And I started that rowing team with a couple of other mates back in 2002. I'm sitting over here in the front. And it's a bit different than the rowing you're used to probably in the US, as I saw this yesterday on the river over here in Boston. Each year, at the end of the season, we have a final race. That was actually last weekend. It's called Muiden Pampas Muiden. And during one weekend, we row around Pampas 3 times. And that's about 7.5 kilometers, so about 4.5 miles. It looks pretty spectacular, a lot of boats rowing over there. But of course, after a lot of hard work, and this is how it can be. Actually, Sunday it was pretty flat, of Saturday, but Sunday it was pretty windy. So it can be pretty tough to get back in time. But we made it, and actually last Sunday we were the quickest and the most powerful boat, so we won quite a lot of prizes. Thank you for that. But of course, just like a Joomla conference, after a lot of hard work, we'd like to enjoy a couple of beers. But that comes to an issue. When you're with a group of people, someone is paying, and you have to share how many people would drink what kind of beers, how much money they spent. And actually, this was the reason I started a website back in 2003, I think, which was mainly for rather than emailing the current status of all drinks all the time around to the team. And slowly, that got extended with a couple of pictures, some reports of races and stuff like that. So this was finally my first website, which was built with front page. Yeah, I guess, can I see hands who built their full website with front page? Don't be shy, yeah. I think even more, yeah. So, there's also a very popular website in the Netherlands. It's called a news website, nu.nl, and that's publishing news every day. And those that have been using front page, they know it's kind of hard to update links all the time. So when you add something new, you have to change all menu pages, which is a lot of work. So I started looking, how does that website doing? And I read an interview and came across something that's called a content management system. And at that time, I was hosting this website on a kind of free Lycos account. So I didn't have any database available. But I came across Qt News, which is a kind of content management system which don't need any MySQL databases. And actually, it's still around, now using Bootstrap as well, like Joomla is doing. So you still can get it if you don't have any database. So this was my first website, and thanks to the Wayback Machine for the screenshot. If you're now building your first website, take a screenshot. It's pretty fun to look at it after a couple of years. So this was my first real content management system website. And I keep working on it just for those 10 visitors that were on the website a day. Wow. And then we had a race, we published pictures, and there were like 100 visitors. Wow. But I keep improving it. And back in the summer of 2005, I started to create a website with Mambo, which probably many of you heard before. And right at the end of the summer, Joomla was forked from, Mambo was forked into Joomla. And I was like, okay, it seems that all of the people are going to Joomla, so let's do the same. So I migrated directly to Joomla, and this was my first Joomla website. And what was pretty interesting for me is that when I was building this website and I had questions, I just searched for it. And there were so many people using Joomla that they could help me make my own website. And that really amazed me at the time. All those people were there, spending their voluntary time, helping each other to build great website. And that's still going on each day. And that's one of the amazing things of our community, I think. So I slowly got involved with our local community, as it was kind of interesting to me. So I did a reach out, started to contribute to the local community. And we created a new community website, joomlacommunity.eu, where we publish a lot of Joomla news and downloads and stuff like that. But, yeah, you know, you're sitting behind your computer is nice, but I decided to go to my first Joomla Day in 2008. That was already, I think, the third Joomla Day around that time in the Netherlands. And that was really the moment that I got stuck with the community. Those were the first Joomla conference as well today. Probably recognize it. It's great to meet other Joomla users and share your knowledge and get inspiration out of it. So I really enjoyed that conference. And actually, later, when I prepared this presentation, I was looking back at the pictures of that event, and I noticed that I was sitting next to Peter Martin. Peter Martin was giving the keynote yesterday, sitting over there. And at that time, I didn't know Peter at all. But a couple years later, we became colleagues on the community leadership team. So maybe look next to you and what team you will be somewhere a couple years with the person. So say hi to each other later on. I really enjoyed the Joomla days. So I decided to go to my first Joomla Day outside the Netherlands. And that was actually Joomla Day UK in 2009. I think it was at that time. We see some former core leadership team members in the back. It's Ryan with the mic. And let's see, we have some others on there. Chris is probably there as well. Lewis as well, yeah. So, and that was really cool to meet the people that was working on Brian was missing. Not me? So that was my first Joomla Day, and that was really exciting. In UK, I noticed that there were a lot of user groups, and at that time, we didn't really have Joomla user groups in the Netherlands, but a lot of people were asking for it, like, can't we organize a user group? It would be nice to share our knowledge within the user group. But, you know, the issue, people keep sharing that they want a user group, but nobody takes action. So we decided as a community to take action, and we asked a couple of people to start organizing Joomla user groups. And nowadays we have like 14 user groups in our small country, and most of them meet each month. And it's a great way to stimulate the local community. And we organize parties. So like we did with the Joomla 1.6 release, we organized the Joomla release party, of course with the Joomla cake, and celebrated, and also did some bug squashing and documentation. Later on, we founded a local foundation in the Netherlands as well to support the Joomla community in the Netherlands. And the foundation is supporting the user groups, the local community, and the Joomla days. So we have a pretty strong community back in Holland, or the Netherlands, or Dutch. In 2011, I was nominated to join the community leadership team. And at that time, I wasn't really involved yet with the international community, but I kind of like it. And thought, okay, maybe I can bring back some of the experience I had in the Netherlands to the international community and share that and help building the international community. So I did. And when I go back, quickly back to my rowing team, we are rowing with 8 people in a boat. And we do have a steerman. But the Joomla community doesn't have that. We are just with the leadership team. We don't have one dictator giving us directions and we all follow that. We can go the same direction as long as we communicate in a proper way. So quickly an overview of the Joomla leadership team at the moment, for those that are not really that familiar with it. Before this conference, we had 2 days of meetings with our teams, and that's always very helpful to meet up and share and work on things that we would like to do with the community. So to give a small explanation, we have Open Source Matters. That's one of the teams of the Joomla leadership. And Open Source Matters is responsible for the financials of the project, but also for the trademark, to prevent issues like this where a new shopping mall in India decided, oh, that logo looks pretty nice, let's use that for a shopping mall logo. So we try to prevent that people are using Joomla for other things than Joomla. We have the production leadership team, which is, in the end, responsible for maintaining the Joomla platform, the CMS, and make sure that all contributions get added to the Joomla CMS. So OSM, PLT, production leadership team, and the last team is the community leadership team, which is responsible for the community and for a lot of the directory websites we have, like the extension directory, the resource directory, and the Joomla forums, for example. But above all, we have a lot of volunteers in a project, like now over here, but not only here, we have them all around the world. And I think we can do better. And we have a lot of people interested in contributing to the Joomla project. But I do think we have some issues and we can work on as a community. One of them is communication. We do have so many communication channels, and we have a lot of working groups. And each working group has their own way of communication. For example, like one of the many Skype chats. But Skype is nice for chit-chatting, but I think that's not really the best solution for us as a community to work with. As probably who was in one of the Joomla Skype chats? Let me see. They probably know ideas getting shared, but within no time they're gone somewhere in history, and it's hard to get track of all actions that came out of the discussions. Discussions are good, but I think we need a place where we can put those outcome of those discussions in a system where we can start working on it as a community. Also, Skype chats are very nice for those who are in the Skype chats, but it's not really public, right? And it's hard to track an overview of what people are involved with, what teams, what are people working on, who are the volunteers that are doing a lot for the community. And what's the progress? I mean, with the Joomla installations, you can have a pretty clear overview what the status is of your installation, but what is the status of a lot of our community projects? It's really hard to track that. We are open. That's what we're saying all the time. We want you to volunteer. But are we really open? Are we really open when we have Skype chats to get involved, where you first had to get invited in one of the Skype chats? Is that open? We try to give people directions where they can get started. but are all those directions clear enough? I would like to know who you are. Like, who is working on our community? Who is spending a lot of time? And do we give people enough information where to start on the community? Where can they get started to get involved? I think at the moment it's really hard to find good information about how to get started. And one of the important things, I think in my opinion, we don't say thank you enough to our volunteers. Right? So people get frustrated, which is a kind of logical. They want to do something, but they're not sure why and how and what to do. And in the end, they decide to move on to somewhere else, taking all their knowledge with them. We don't have good documentation about what people are working on, what they have done, what was the outcome of discussions. When people move on, knowledge is gone as well. So we have an ID, and we need all of you of them, not just in this room, the entire community. I think we can solve it with, or at least partly, with the Joomla Volunteer Portal. And the Joomla Volunteer Portal, you can have a lot of options. Like, for example, you have your volunteer profile. And on your personal volunteer profile, you're sharing what are your skills, what is your experience, what is your background. I mean, we're such a great thing that we have so many different backgrounds in a community. We have a lot of different knowledge. So what working groups are you involved? A clear overview. OK, this person is involved in this, and this working group. An overview of the contributions of a volunteer. What have you been done in the past? Accomplishment. Maybe a badge system, like you spend or you achieved this number of tasks and you've done an amazing job. You have a badge over here. I volunteered for Joomla. You can put it on your website, for example. And of course, an easy overview of the task you've been assigned for, so get notifications of status of things. We have working groups, where people can easily start new working groups and add tasks, small tasks. With it, maybe it's just 15 minutes as add a task. Make it very clear what needs to be done to get forward. An overview of all members involved within a group, and not just the members, but also their roles. So you know, when you want to get involved with a certain group, which person you have to contact, who's the team leader, what are each of the roles of the people. And of course, things like file sharing, documentation to prevent the loss of knowledge, general information about the group, and above all, make it very public. People can browse what's going on within a community. They can see what groups are working on and maybe think, that's something I really think is interesting. I want to get involved with that. What groups can you think about it? For example, we just had a Joomla 3.2 release, the Joomla 3.2 marketing group, creating banners, the great videos, things like that. A group for Joomla Day organizers, where they can share their experience with organizing Joomla Days. The social media team. These are all teams that are already there. Maybe a group that wants to think about how can we get women involved with open source to share our ideas, get things done. We can create any Joomla team or group around a certain topic. Get a volunteer dashboard where there's an activity stream of the people what being worked on, of upcoming deadlines, how often we say, I'm going to do it, but it never happened. It's probably good to have a good overview of the things you said you would like to do for the community. And it's fine if you can't do it within the time, the deadline you set, but then give it back to someone else. I think a lot of people are waiting to get things done in the community. Another thing is, what can I do? Like, I have 30 minutes. I have experience in a certain area. Do you have anything for me I can do right now? Match the available task with the skills of our volunteers. A clear getting started page. Good documentation about what you can do, what are the steps to take to get involved. And of course, that's not just limited to the volunteer portal, but any area within a project. A sort of game rules, how to respect each other. We're working with a lot of different cultures, different languages. We have to be aware of that. So a couple of guidelines to make sure that people can work properly together. And one of the most interesting, I think, is the community activities. Like, see which people have been doing a lot of in the past week. Maybe we have a homepage with saying, in the past week, 45 people from 32 countries contributed 600 hours to the Joomla project. Get each other motivated to continue with our community volunteer activities. Maybe have a volunteer of the month, do an interview with them in a community magazine. So, the volunteer portal is something to match the available task with the volunteers we have in a project. The goal should be to make it easier, much easier, and much more fun to volunteer for the Joomla project. To get insights in what's being done by which people, and increase the number of volunteers and the productivity of our community. We have so many people around. I think we can do much more within a month than we do right now. And above all, recognize and be able to say thank you to the people that are doing a lot of things in the community. So, how can it look like? This is just a simple mock-up with Bootstrap. There's a simple page, like contribute. Great, you want to contribute, awesome. How many time do you have right now? Between 15 and 45 minutes. So what are your skills? Okay, cool. This is our list with suggestions, available tasks that needs to be done within the community. Select one, do it right now. It's not that hard. An overview of the groups. Which groups are available? What are the people working on? How many people are involved with that? What are the current discussions? See what task needs to be done before what deadline. Make it clear what's going on within the groups. Which are the team members of a group? Your own profile, like what are the groups I'm involved with? Which deadlines, which tasks I signed up for? What are the deadlines around that? Maybe share a bit of our background, like what is my Joomla? I shared my Joomla story this morning, but I would love to hear all of your Joomla stories, as we have, all of us have an interesting Joomla background. How to contact people, see the achievements someone, let's motivate it. So, is this ready yet? No. We have to build it. And I'm not going to build it myself. I need you for that. And I need a couple people, like a marketing expert, like a project management expert, a front-end developer, some general team members, a development coordinator that's going to coordinate the development. I think it would be great if we can put it on GitHub and make sure that if you see something can be better, do a pull request. Let's improve it. A graphic designer, a translation coordinator. I think we should have the website available in several languages from directly the beginning. So, stand up if you want to get involved. Who is willing to help me to get this done as a community? That's ready. Okay. So, let's first try to find, let's see, a graphic designer. Elvis. Oh. So, Elvis, can you please tell your name and what are you currently doing in the community?
My name is Elvis, also known as Elvis, and I currently contribute for the Joomla magazine as an illustrator and eventually as a writer.
Great. It would be great if you want to help with us on getting the graphics done.
Of course.
Cool. Grab your t-shirt. Find your size.
How many?
Just one, so we can give it a couple ones to others.
Oh.
Find your size to win.
Okay, I got a lot more than just this lousy t-shirt, okay?
So I'm looking for a front-end developer. I saw a hand over here. Can you give us a short introduction?
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a developer in Joomla since 5 years. I'm making website extensions. MVC extension is a very good tutorial. I don't know if the creator is here. And I probably help to create your extension.
And are you currently involved with Eddie? other groups at the moment?
No,
within?
no.
Cool. Thank you. Again, yeah. Give them a round of applause. Find your T-shirt size. I'm not sure if it's there are a couple of sizes.
No, I think not many.
Maybe.
I'll look.
Have a look. So what's next? Translation. I really find. Oh, now we're gone. Back. Yeah. Thanks. Oh, you can. Are you going to walk after me? No, those are. You can take those.
I'll volunteer to do shirts.
Perfect. Thanks for that. See, a small task, and we can get things done together. So, Wu's experience in translation, and Wu was willing to coordinate the translations from several languages and make sure that we get this portal directly available in multiple languages. Can I see hands? No, you can't translate it in all languages, but you can coordinate it to make sure people translate it. So you have to reach out to other translators. So, a short introduction, please.
My name is Alam Kadoumi. I'm from Qatar. For the time being, maybe I'm the only one who translating Joomla to Arabic, because in Arab world they are not involved in Joomla and open source mentality at all. I'm trying to make them involved as much as I can. For now, I developed many government websites based on Joomla, and I was successful to do that, which is very hard was for me. For the time being, I do support and help people for translation, not just translation. The other issue in Arabic is right-to-left language. Many or most of extension do not support right-to-left, so I help them to make this extension right-to-left, supporting right-to-left languages through Joomla forum and my blog and all possible connections.
Great. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
I'm also looking for someone that has some experience in project management tools, or what should be there to make sure that people work and sign up for tasks. I will get quickly in the back there.
Thank you. I'm John Harrington, and I've got a fresh perspective as a new person to Joomla, looking exactly into this problem. Where can I plug in? And so with that, business development background, especially with the nonprofit side, and getting people to plug into things that have purpose. And so we don't have to whip people into action. We can actually get them working on things that they love. So love building organizations and volunteer organizations, and think I can help.
Great. Thanks for volunteering as well. So, let's see. What's next? I'm looking for someone that's really experienced in developing extensions and would like to coordinate, like put things on GitHub, make sure other people can contribute as well. The other way in the back.
My name is Gunjan Patel, and working in Joomla since 4 years, and just started contributing from the last PBF event, and I'm loving it.
Thank you for volunteering as well. So we're getting there. I think we can use a marketing expert, someone that's experienced in doing marketing, make sure that's positioned right well. I saw you directly, and you wanted the T-shirt directly from the beginning, right? So it's about the T-shirt, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's all about the shirt.
Great.
Duke Spear, and yeah, I do marketing, working with nonprofits. So there we go.
Thanks for volunteering as well. And I think we can also use a couple people that have some great ideas to make this happen. So who's really willing to work on it, and I mean really willing to work on it, to make this happen? Brian, I saw you, and I know you have been writing about this in the past as well. Do we need an introduction?
On the basis that I wrote a blog post about this about 3 years ago, it's also that it's finally happening, so absolutely I'll volunteer time to help get it working.
Great, thank you, Brian. And I saw some other hands as well in the back. Yeah, Diane, I know that you've been talking about this as well.
We've been talking about this for a long time, about having the volunteer portal set up, and I'd be happy to help coordinate or do what I can where I can.
Thank you, Diane.
I'm Chris Nielsen, and I'm working on with a co-chair on the JRD, and I'd like to participate to help kind of be a liaison with how our team can interconnect with this, and I hope other teams will do the same.
Great, thank you, Chris. So,
I've been kind of involved just as a user for Joomla, but I can help with graphic design, marketing, and UI.
Great, thank you for that. And for the last person, I'm also looking for someone that's not involved with any Joomla groups right now, but is willing to step up to work on this.
Hi, my name is Bruce. I am part of Joomla Guayaquil, and I will happy to help to this project.
Great, thank you. So I think we already have a kind of nice group together to get work on this idea. And I would like to invite you all to sit together during the lunch and already discuss a couple things so we really get started right now with it. So if you are interested, and also for those that watching the video online, and really like, I can't put up my hand, we probably can't send you the t-shirt right now, but you will get it at the next Joomla World Conference. But if you want, send me an email or tweet me, and we get you involved. Thank you for those stepping up. So, yeah, it will be online on SlideShare and share. So it will be online. But that's not yet it at the end. I mean, we have a great community with people from all around the world. And many of them are here, and I'm glad that we have a lot of international members now on the volunteer team as well. But it's not just a volunteer portal. It's great to work with so many people from all around the world with their own cultures, their own backgrounds, their own languages. I really like it to work with so many people, and I hope you like that as well. We can make things happen if we work together. Let's do that, and not wait until the volunteer portal is finished. I mean, this is the community day. Let's start directly right now. Let's share ideas with each other during the coffee, during sessions today. Let's get things done. And of course, we have leadership team members. Can they please stand up? The leadership team members in the room. These are the people that they can help you directly in guiding you maybe to the right person to get things done. But we are not the people that are going to do all the work. So if you do have ideas and you need any help from us, if you do think you're not sure who to reach out, contact one of these people today. Share their idea. They will help you guide to the right person and get things done. Thank you, guys. We have an amazing community. I love our community. And I really hope that we can get our community to the next big step. Joomla is powering like 3% of the entire web. That's millions of websites. We can shape the next generation of websites, but also the next generation of open source community. Let's do that together and start right on it today. Joomla, it means in Swahili, all together, or as a whole. Let's do that. Thank you.
Well, it'd be hard to imagine a better talk to open our community day. Thank you very much, Senator. That was excellent. And thank you to all those great new volunteers. I'm really looking forward to this portal. Okay, there's really not much housekeeping except to say we have a 1-hour session before lunch, and then we have our second keynote with WordPress founder Matt Mullenweg, so be sure to be back here for that at 1 o'clock sharp. We'll be starting on time, and enjoy the next sessions. Thank you, everybody.